Hey guys and girls, it's Panabam and we are back with another indie horror on itch.io. Tonight we're playing The Babysitter. This is a game by Crux Game Studio. I initially thought this was the Babysitter game from Puppet Combo, which I also downloaded, but I think that one didn't work properly. Either way, we're just gonna jump straight in. I believe this is a visual novel of a creepy babysitter, so let's just check it out. If this is a huge game, I might just save it. Oh, look at this. Guardian Angel. Elite Child Minding Service. Hey, that's a cool brand, Guardian Angel, to get like babysitters. Posted 4 hours ago. Babysitter needed urgent. Child minder required tomorrow evening for our 11-year-old daughter, Westfield Groves. Reference checks will be conducted. Apply for this job. Let's apply for the job. Wait, I'm the babysitter? I thought the babysitter was a serial killer. Or at least that was my understanding of how this game is. It turns out the kid is gonna... Well, unless, I don't know, it could be quite meta that I am a crazy person. Who knows? I've done 2 visual novels tonight now. Hopefully it's not too long. This suburb, Whitefields Grove, oh, I had a tongue twister there, is one of the more exclusive neighborhoods in the city. But it's on the outskirts of the town, pretty much in the middle of nowhere. This house, like all the other houses in this neighborhood, is set far apart from its neighbors. Huh. Setting the scene, huh? No one's gonna hear you scream. This sure is a nice place with a well-maintained lawn and a pool. Although at this hour it does seem a little foreboding. It's about 7 PM and it's already getting dark. Or it's already full dark. The house seems quiet. This scene reminds me of Scream, the movie Scream, where the whole back of the house is just all glass and it overlooks a pool. It's just like rich people life, isn't it? Mrs. Raj, the woman who called you back after you sent in your application, asked you to be here by 7:30 PM and had been particular that you be on time. Mrs. Raj told you that she and her husband, Dr. Raj, were going out for the evening and she didn't want her daughter home alone. The fact that the girl is 11 and requires a sitter indicates there may be some issues there. Is it? You'll think an 11-year-old kid needs to be babysit until they're at least 13, 14, wouldn't it? Or maybe I'm a special child. I'm pretty sure I needed to be babysitted until I was like at least in high school. Or it could just be that the child doesn't like being alone at home after dark. That's quite normal. It's a huge house. You know, you can't blame them. Mrs. Raj sounded like a very exacting kind of parent. The type who is very mindful of every aspect of the child's need. She asked you a lot of questions about her background, your background and your qualifications. See, she seemed pretty finicky. You can't blame her really these days. Most parents, particularly the rich ones, pay a lot of attention to their children's upbringing. It is the nature of our times and it pays to be vigilant. Since you've been registered with the Guardian Angel childcare agency for the last 3 years, you've got some good references. So you're pretty confident you'll get the kid. It pays well too. Obviously, look how big the house is. Guys, pimp it. Look at the door. Look, if anyone's front door is an open door like that, two-way, they're loaded. Well, you're here. You're about half an hour early, which you hope is not too early for them. You better ring the doorbell to let them know you're here. Bing bong. So there is an interactive visual novel. Oh, look at the drawings. Very particular. Ah, yes. Of course, you must be the babysitter. I'm Dr. Raj. My wife told me you will be here. You're early. That's great. Do come in. He steps aside and you walk into the house. This lounge area overlooks the lawn and the pool through the tinted back windows to your left. The floor underfoot is real wood and the furniture looks like it cost a fortune. Yes, it does. I'm so glad we found you on such short notice. Shreya? That's my wife. Was quite worried we wouldn't be able to get a sitter on time. You see, I got an invitation to speak at a late event segment of a medical convention just 2 days ago. So the whole situation came about rather abruptly. Shreya is very particular about those who care in whose care we leave Maya. Whoa! She's very particular about in whose care we leave Maya, our daughter. That is a weird way to say that. We had a bad experience with our last sitter. She's very cautious when it comes to Maya. You sense a mild apology in his tone. It's alright. Yes, I did feel that the interview was quite thorough. It's alright, it's important to be diligent when it comes to such matters. I would say that. That's very true. I can see why you gained her confidence. I'll go in and tell her you're here. She's just getting ready. I'll then grab my coat and head out to the car, so I'll see you next when we're back. It was a pleasure meeting you. Do make yourself comfortable. Shreya will be here in a second. Shreya. Interesting name. Dr. Raj leaves you, and you wait for Mrs. Raj, who he referred to as Shreya. He seems pleasant, if a little absent, a rather stark difference to Mrs. Raj, who sounded formal and humorless on the call. You must be pleasant here during the day. The glass doors on your left letting in natural light, but now at night the windows look out into darkness and the trees bordering the lawn throw deep shadows. It's understandable now why they would not want their child to spend a late evening alone. The house is large and isolated from its neighbors. The neighborhood is itself rather lonesome. Children with the active imagination can easily get distressed after dark in such an environment, every creak and every night sounding taking on sinister undertones. Ooh, hello there, Mrs. Raj. Hello, oh, well, hello there. We had spoken on the phone. Thank you for being early. I appreciate that. As Anand, my husband, might have told you, we're attending a medical convention, and he's one of the keynote speakers for the evening. The organizer just called us a few minutes ago and told us that the traffic around the convention center is a nightmare and that we should start out early if we wanted to get there on time. So now we have to leave half an hour early. The organizer seems so well disorganized. Her tone is clipped. She's clearly a woman who does not like it when plans go awry or situations get unpredictable. I'm really glad we were able to find a sitter on such short notice. I know Maya seems quite old to be needing a sitter, but I try to avoid leaving our daughter home alone if possible. Quite understandable, the house does seem rather foreboding after dark. Yes, children require supervision even at that age. If you're a smart person, you don't say the house is bad. You don't tell your boss their house is bad, is the best way to put it. So you say, it's good. I suppose so. Maya's actually quite independent. It's just that she's going through a difficult time right now. How so? Well, we recently moved here from another state about 6 months ago. Anand got an offer to be a director at the NHU hospital. We wanted to stay together as a family, so we packed up and shifted our lives. It was a rather abrupt change for Maya, leaving her old friends, her old life, the house she grew up in. She's taking it a little hard. She hasn't made any friends at her new school. She spends a lot of time alone. Anand feels guilty about it because we moved for his work, but the directorship at the NHU hospital is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It was only right for him to accept it. Maya's behavior doesn't make it easy on him though. Couple that with her overactive imagination and it can be a little stressful. Change can be hard for children at this age. What kind of behavior are we talking about? I think I'll ask those questions because if I'm going to be a babysitter to a weird kid, I need to know the ins and out of what's going on. I don't want any jump scares in my real life. A game, yeah, it's all good, but not real life. Well, it's nothing serious really. Please don't misunderstand me. Maya's a wonderful child. In fact, she's very bright for her age, which may be part of the problem. She's thoughtful, she reads beyond her years, and she's surprisingly mature for her age. It's just that she still hasn't come to terms with the move. And unfortunately, she's expressing her distress in rather disconcerting ways. Well, what ways? How so? How? What is she doing? She's breaking stuff? She's burning stuff? She's hurting little animals? She's just yelling, tantrum? What is it? She's struggling with a lot of emotions. She just turned 12, so she's on the cusp of her teenage years. She's in a new school, and you know how difficult school can be at her age, hormones, boys, and all the rest of it. And Anna and I are busy for much of the day, but we try to talk to her about her feelings whenever we can. But that's not been going too well. The problem is she refuses to speak plainly about her feelings. Instead, she makes up outlandish stories and let her imagination run amok. And she tries to draw us all into her morbid make-believe tales. Her counselor says it's a coping mechanism, a kind of stress response for adopted bright children. Maybe a way to get attention? Perhaps a way of telling us that she wants to leave and go back to her old life. So what stories is it? What's troubling is that she's never been this way before. She's normally a normal attention-seeking child. Her counselor is probably right. Anything I should be careful about? Any triggers I should avoid talking about? Well, not really. Like I said, she's perfectly normal and not really a difficult child. She can be a little moody at times, that's all. And she might, if you probe, try to scare you with some of her stories about this house, for example. What? What kind of stories? What stories? Like, just silly juvenile stuff. The The kind kids tell each other when they gather around a campfire and try to scare each other, I suppose. She may have overheard something about this house and she's latched onto it and blown it out of proportion and created an entire fiction around it. It troubles us how morbid and disturbing her imagination can get. What type of parent is this to be discounting this type of stuff? If your kid is telling you about gruesome stuff, stories that is beyond their age, you need to look into what is causing that. So they're talking about this house. Children love dark stories. Why do you think fairy tales are so gruesome? I need to come straight out. You gotta tell me everything, lady, or I'm walking out that door. I'm not gonna be a babysitter in a haunted house. Yes, I'd rather not go into all of it. It's just nonsense anyways, and besides, that's exactly what she wants. For us to get drawn into hysteria. In any case, her counselor has told us not to engage or react. So if she does try anything, please be patient, be firm, be gentle. What Maya needs now is a little sanity. So about tonight, she's already eaten dinner. Her bedtime is at 9, which is just under 2 hours anyways. The time should pass quickly. There's snacks in the kitchen if she need it. She pauses and appears to be searching for words. I know that I might have come across a bit severe when we spoke earlier on the phone. I have to be careful about who I choose to care for Maya. She's having a hard time as it is. That's okay. I've done the same if it were my daughter. That's good. Thank you. I'll ask Maya to come in now so you can meet her. Is she gonna be like all creepy looking? It's a creepy kid. You hear voices approach, shrieks and that of young girls. They are speaking in low voices, but you can sense tension and conflict in their voice. The child's tone is brusque, is that how you pronounce it? And irate, while Shura's tone is stern. So this is the kid. Oh, look at that! Look at that T-shirt. She's getting into the punk years. It's like rebellious years now. This is Maya. Say hi, Maya. Oh, Maya? She don't like me. Hi. Her voice is so low you can barely hear it. I was just telling Maya that we are only away for about 3 or 4 hours and that she must go to bed no later than 9. She'll cooperate, of course. Isn't that right, Maya? You sense a warning in her tone. Maya? Yes. That mumbled reply again. It's great to meet you, Maya. Right, we have to be off then. If there's anything else, please call. She's ready to get the F out of this house, man. Jeez, all these are red flags. If you're a babysitter and you get yourself in this situation, I would kind of say you need to GTFO, or you need to turn all the lights on, stay in one room and don't leave, and that's it, and just be there for 4 hours and have, like, I don't know, your phone right next to you at all times. Don't worry, we wouldn't need to. Everything will be alright. That's exactly what I'll say, right? Just to calm the situation, just in case, right? Goodbye. Goodbye to you, lady. She looks creepy as hell, I'm gonna be honest. The illustration kind of creeps me out. A few minutes later? Oh, they're gone. It's just her now. Mr. and Mrs. Raj have left. An awkward silence descends as Maya stares at you with a diffident gaze. There's about an hour and 30 minutes to go before bedtime. What do you want to do, kid? Nothing? You want to watch some TV or read a book? No thanks. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. The awkward silence again. You shouldn't have come. Oh god, you shouldn't have taken this job. You should leave. Don't leave now, man. It's too late. It's too late. We're in this together. Look at her. She's got eye bags under her eyes. Man, poor kid. Why would you say that? Because you're not safe here. Go while you can. Your parents asked me to watch over you, so I can't leave. If I leave, you'll be alone here. What am I in danger of exactly? I can't tell you because you'll not believe me. Nobody believes me. Maya, how about we talk about things pleasant? What about you? Nope, I want to talk about it too. I can take it myself, don't worry. Okay, if you say so. I'd like to go up to my room now. Sure? Will you be okay by yourself? Do you want to hang here instead? I'll be alright. I'm old enough to take care of myself, you know. I told them not to get a sitter. It's not safe. You mean you think you're not safe with me? That's not what I meant. I meant it's not safe for you. So it's not safe for me. Okay, look, Maya, I don't scare easily. How about we talk about something else? No. Yes, you already told me that. What am I in danger from? I just want you to leave before something happens to you. It feels like you're going in circles with her. I definitely am. Why don't you tell me exactly what I'm in danger of? I can't. I know what happens if I do. You'll think I'm crazy, you'll laugh, or patronize me. Anyway, at least I tried. I'm heading up to my room now. What are you going to do up there? I'm going to read, maybe, write in my journal. What does it matter anyways? Don't worry, I'm not going to burn the house down or anything. Just, look, if you're not going to leave, then just, whatever you do, don't go near the basement, okay? No matter what you hear, don't go near it. Oh, God. It's one of those situations. It's the, don't open that door. No matter what happens, don't go in the basement. You can go anywhere but the basement. So let's go to the basement, please. So the first thing we do is go to the basement, right? She leaves you standing alone. Ouch, that didn't go too well. It was just as Miss Raj said. Maya is definitely a troubled kid. No sooner had they left that she began to try to make the situation uncomfortable. You just have to write this out. If she spends the rest of the evening upstairs, things should be fine. You can just hang here in the lounge and pass the time till the parents come back. Should be easy to do. Still, the conversation with Maya has left a bad taste in your mouth. She definitely seems like a bright young girl. It's a pity she's struggling with the pains of the change in her life. But growth only ever comes from change, and that's something she'll learn over time. Well, you're just going to sit there staring at the black... Don't do that. You decide to wait it out on one of the comfortable couches there. Sure is as comfortable as it looks. You particularly sink into plush leather. This is the worst place to be sitting. Would you sit there? So it's all glass, but you can't see outside. You might see your own reflection. Oh shit! What was that? It came from this floor somewhere. It sounded like a door opening. Did Maya come down? Call out to Maya. You call out, but there's no response. Earlier you heard her go upstairs, but you did not hear her return. The sound came from near that staircase over there. You distinctly hear the creak of the door opening. This had better not be Maya playing around. Was this what Mrs. Raj meant when she was talking about Maya's behavior? There are 3 doors there. The door to the left, the door to the right, and the stairs that appears to go... there appears to be a door behind the stairs, and under it. The staircase leads up to another floor, presumably where the bedrooms are. The sound you heard, that creak of a door opening, came from one of these doors. You're sure of it. Just ask her, are you there, Maya? You raise your voice and you call her name. There is no response. You better check the doors. Door to the left. Let's do it. Bring it. Bring it, son. It appears to be shut. You should try the door to make sure. It's locked. To the right. It's locked. Well, under the door, under the stairs. Oh, the door is ajar. This must have been the sound you heard. You through the gap in the doorway, you see only darkness. Is this not the basement, my friend? Is this not the basement? Is this the only place she told you not to go to? Are we gonna go there now? Yes, let's do it! Let's do it! Okay. Oh shit! Damn girl! What are you doing? I told you to stay away from the basement. You scared the hell out of me. I told you to stay away from the basement. Why don't you listen? Why doesn't anyone listen? What exactly is going on? You don't gain anything by doing this. What's that supposed to mean? Are you accusing me of something? Are you, son? I'm not doing anything. You came down here and opened the door, didn't you? What? I just came downstairs, like now. I heard you calling me and I came down to see why, and I saw you near the basement door, even though I told you not to go near it, no matter what you hear. You're saying I opened it? You think I did it? Wait, so who opened the door? It wasn't me, okay, if that's what you're saying. You know what? You're all the same. All of you think I'm lying, even my counselor. I bet Ma told you I'm making up stories. She tells that to everyone, even total strangers. Your mom's not very nice, is she? I'm gonna be honest. Don't say that about your kid. If you're a parent, just don't. Because it makes them feel, look, she's so like pissed at the whole world now. Look at her shirt. That shirt tells me she's in the rebellious age now. 13 next year. You gotta watch out. But I'm not making up stories. I bet you she didn't tell you what the real estate lady told us before this house. What's really going on? If I tell you, you just call me a liar and you accuse me of stuff I didn't do. Just tell me, lady. Tell me, girl. So I'm not going to tell you anything. Ugh. Do whatever you like, but for your own sake, stay away from the basement, no matter what you hear. All right, well, I'll buy what's in the basement. She's just left. Great, she's gone back upstairs again. This is so not going well. It's going to have to write this out somehow until her parents come home. There's 4 hours before they come back. Oh, it's only been 10 minutes. It literally only been 10 minutes. This is definitely getting uncomfortable. I'm not even there as a real babysitter. I'm just like as a third party watching this as a visual novel, and I'm feeling uncomfortable for the babysitter. No wonder Mrs. Raj is concerned about the girl. Children express stress in varied ways. You've seen this in children who are going through traumatic changes in their lives. The poor girl. You better close this door. Not that you're overly alarmed about what Maya said, but the sight of the open door is a bit creepy. That's good choice, my friend. Good choice. You really gonna sit there again? Back to the comfortable sofa, staring out into the darkness of the lawn. You sit tight till her parents come home. Do you have a phone, an iPad, a laptop or something? It's really creepy just sitting there staring into darkness. I don't know what's creepier, the basement or you. You sit there till her parents come home. Few minutes? Oh my, few minutes. This is not good. This is so not good. Oh, really? Again? Come on, this isn't funny anymore. Why would she? Call out to Maya to stop. You call out, but there's no response. What was that? What the hell is that? Someone's crying. It's coming from all there near the stairs. Maya, are you okay? Oh, this is... Oh, wow. This game is really creepy. It's coming from the door behind the stairs. Maya? Still response. This is really aggravating. The sound of the weeping is troublesome. The sound of the weeping is troublesome, like... Oh, I wish I didn't hear this annoying noise so I can stare at a blank or like just the darkness outside the glass. This is the troublesome. It's not the right word to use, let's put it that way. The door is open again. The crying is coming from the pitch black darkness beyond it. There is no way you're going to open that door. True, I wouldn't do that. Maya may be in there ready to spring out and scare you, and you're not up for being jump scared. I'm not either. You don't really want to die of a heart attack by a babysitting gig. That's not what you sign up for. You better shut the door. Bye bye. Creepy door, creepy basement. Phew, the crying has stopped. You can't go. This can't go on. You better put a stop to it now, or she'll keep doing this all night. And by the time her parents are back, you'll have died of fright. It's probably a good idea to talk to her, confront her. You could wait right here till she comes out of the basement. She can't stay down there forever. Or you could go upstairs and wait. When she sneaks back up, you could catch her in the act and then talk to her openly about what she's doing and why it's not going to help the situation. Wait for her to come out of the basement, head upstairs. Let's head upstairs. Mrs. Raj told you to be gentle but firm. Maybe it's time to focus on the firm a little. Talk directly and firmly to her. Ask her about whatever is bothering her, and maybe she needs is direct talk. Sometimes the best way to address something with children is to get to the heart of the problem. She might open up, and that would make things easier for her. Which room is it? There are 3 doors on this side of the hallway. One of these is probably her room. You feel exposed standing there in this hallway. She might see you before you see her. Maybe you could wait inside her room for her to get back. It's kind of creepy at the same time. You know, like, don't walk into someone's room, especially not a 12-year-old girl's room. You know, like, they're basically a teenager already, so give them some space. That would startle her and even be a kind of gentle prank right back at her. Sometimes the best way to get a child to listen is to give them a taste of their own medicine, is it now? You should probably try the doors to find out which one's her room. Locked? Oh. Yeah, is this it? This must be it. It's a pretty nice room. Well, they're all richer family. Look at that. As if a kid's, like, wall painting will be like that. She's not here. Of course she's downstairs, crouched in the basement. Perhaps getting ready to make those awful sounds again. Still, you feel a little guilty about being in here. It is, after her bedroom, and therefore private. There you go. You have a conscience. If she doesn't show up in a couple of minutes, you'll leave. Still, it would be good to start her a little, illustrate what it's like to get a jump scare by someone. And she's gonna jump scare you, isn't she? 100%. Pretty neat desk for an 11-year-old. Wait, she 11 or 12? It must be where she spends her time studying and reading. There's an open book on the table. Something about that book draws your attention. Oh my god, you're gonna read someone's diary too? Oh my god. filled with urgent handwritten text. Curiosity grips you. You really shouldn't be here in this room, let alone looking at her desk. But something about the writing, about this manic scroll. The writing is dated a couple of weeks ago. You feel compelled to take a look. Okay, fine, let's go. Thursday 11. I heard her again last night, after both Mama and Dad went to bed. I was lying in bed nearly asleep when I heard the sound of her weeping downstairs. I knew what would come next, and sure enough, I heard the faint shuffle of her footsteps as she made her way up the basement steps and up the stairs. No, son, don't do it! Then she was in the hallway. Oh, great, my room. I heard the creak of my room's door handle turn. I stayed under the blankets, my eyes shut tight. Thank God I had locked the door. It has become a compulsive habit and drives Ma and Dad crazy. I'm going around locking every door in the house, maybe from anxiety, every time. After a time, she went away. Friday 12th, which is just the next day. At breakfast, I told Ma that I had heard the sounds again the previous night. The weeping and the footsteps. Ma glared at me, and Dad didn't even bother looking up from his plate. Ma said, I want you to stop this, Maya. It's becoming tiresome and annoying. There's no one in the house but the three of us. What about the real estate lady told us before we moved in? I blurted. She said that was a tragic accident, but it happened to this house many years ago. It has nothing to do with us. You're obsessing and imagining things. Ma was almost in tears. I nearly burst out crying. It wasn't always like this. In our old life, before we moved here 6 months ago, they used to listen to me and take what I said seriously. Now they no longer believe anything I say. Oh, how I hate this house. But am I going crazy? Is she real? Am I the only one able to see and hear? Oh, damn, son! I remember when I first encountered the lady in the basement. It was just after we moved in. I was alone downstairs and I heard the basement door creak open. I went to check. I went down and nearly died from terror. I ran upstairs screaming and told Ma and Dad about what I saw. They were alarmed and Dad searched the basement and the whole house, but he found nothing. All he saw in the basement were the old packing boxes stored there. The lady in the basement. This creepy, man. How I remember her when I saw her coming up the basement stairs. Out of the darkness, I remember a blast of rage and malevolence. And fear for my life. Another time, a week later, late at night, I heard her weeping downstairs. I ran to Ma and Dad's bedroom and crawled into bed with them, crying. Dad searched the house again. He searched the basement, even though I got hysterical and begged him not to, and he found nothing. This happened a couple more times, but now they look at me not with concern, but with suspicion and even anger. Ma thinks, thanks to my counselor, that I'm having some kind of breakdown brought about by our move across the country and teenage hormones. It's true that I hate this state. I hate my new school, and most of all, I hate this house. I wish we never moved here. But could they all be right? Could it be true that the trauma of change is driving me insane, making me see things? Seeded by that awful story the real estate lady told us about what happened in this house all those years ago. Am I going crazy? Some nights I lie in bed wide awake, waiting for the sounds from the basement to start, frozen in terror. Friday 27th. Okay, so I'm not the only one who sees her, which means I'm not going crazy. But it also means the situation is dangerous. Yesterday, Ma and Dad had to attend a party thrown by an old friend of Dad's. I think it was one of those boring adult parties where everyone stands about sipping drinks and talking late into the night. So they hired a sitter, a sweet 22-year-old girl, Nadia, who goes to the BH Holly nearby. I really liked her. She was so pretty. I was up here, and it was around 9 when I heard her scream. I ran downstairs and I found her cowering behind the sofa, her face ashen. She was pointing towards the basement door, and I knew at once that Nadia had seen her too. I asked Nadia what happened. She said that she heard the basement door opening. Then a few minutes later, the sound of someone weeping. She thought it was me, and she went to investigate. She opened the basement door wide, and then she me. Damn, girl. Wow. That got me so... Oh my god. Can you guys see that? You probably can't because the camera's not focused. Anyway. Just... Woo! This game is good. Okay. Hey, what do you think you're doing in here? You're reading my diary? That's so creepy. I'm gonna call Mom. I should have locked my door. I went to the bathroom and just for once, I didn't lock my door and see what happens. Please leave my room. Wait. I was in here to scare you. Instead, you got me. Oh, no, that was stupid. Wait, I heard those sounds too from the basement. The weeping. Oh god, you shouldn't be in this house. The last sitter, it didn't go well with her. You should leave this house now. What happened to the previous sitter? I guess you mean Nadia. She saw the lady in the basement. That's how I think of that thing down there. In caps. In caps? Nadia heard her crying. She thought it was me and she went down to the basement to investigate. When I found her, she was screaming and hysterical. I could barely understand what she was saying. She said that the woman came at her. She called my mom and told her that she was leaving the house and that she didn't want to stay at a moment longer. I was furious and asked her why. But Nadia would not say why. I mean, it sounds crazy when you talk about it out loud. So I don't blame her. Also, I think Nadia didn't even want to think about what she saw, let alone talk about it. She was so shaken. Nadia was up here with me when Ma was talking to her on the phone. She just listened to Ma wordlessly and then she left without a word. When Ma came home, she was furious with me. With you? Yeah, she thought I subjected Nadia to my wild tales and scared her away. That's why I didn't want to tell you anything about it. At all. I just wanted you to stay away from the basement. Because I knew you wouldn't believe me and because I didn't want Ma to say that I scared you away. What was the story the real estate agent told you about? Before they moved in, Ma wanted a place near the hospital where she's working. So he got in touch with the real estate firm and she showed them a bunch of the houses. Ma didn't like any of them. Finally, the agent told them that she had one more place in her file. She brought us here, and Ma loved the place at once. It was spacious, had a nice long pool, 2 floors. What's not to love? Even better was the rent. I remember how Dad was really happy about how cheap the rent was, considering its size. The only issue was the house, Ma said. Was that even though it's part of this suburban property, Whitefield Groves, it looked a little run down. That was when the real estate agent told Dad and Ma the story. She said that the last long-term resident lived here nearly a decade ago, a family of 3. The man was some kind of businessman, and he used to travel a lot. His wife was a housewife, and they had a 4-year-old girl. The wife had some kind of ongoing mental disorder, depression I think, some kind of psychosis. She would hear voices or see things. She was taking medication for it. At one point, she began to believe that her husband no longer loved her. He was plotting to kill her. It could have been the long hours alone, or maybe she was slowly descending into madness. At that point, she broke, and in a moment of madness, she killed her daughter and herself. That is creepy. That is so creepy. This actually feels like one of those stories on Reddit, like the creepypastas or like no sleep subreddit. I asked the real estate agent in which room she's done it, and she said she didn't know. But I think I have a pretty good idea where it happened. What, the basement, I assume? The house stayed vacant for a long time. Bad mojo, I guess. There were a couple of residents in between, but most stayed for a short time, then moved on. The mom did say she's ahead of her years because she's speaking it's really articulate what she's saying. For a 11-year-old kid. I guess they either saw something or felt uneasy. I remember when I was 11, I was like basically a stupid child. I wouldn't be able to converse with an adult like this. This house had been empty for almost 3 years before we moved in. Tell me about this lady in the basement. I heard the sounds about a week after we moved in. First, the basement door kept opening by itself, always when I was alone in the lounge. I was too scared to go near it, so I kept ignoring it. I thought it was maybe a draft. Once it opened when Ma was with me, and she just shrugged it and said that the door was stiff and so it sprang open. She said she will get it fixed. But then one day I heard the weeping and I could not help myself. I went to the door and I went down there and I saw her. I've been living in terror ever since. I hear her some nights. Sometimes she just weeps, other times she wanders the house. Nobody believes me. And Ma and Dad think I'm making it up to get them to leave here and go back to our old life. I don't know what the lady in the basement wants. I don't even know what she is. But when I saw her, I sensed such rage and despair. I know she wanted to harm me, even kill me if she could. But I knew at once who she was. She was the lady from the story that the real estate woman who got us this house told us. Hasn't your mom and dad seen or hear anything? No, they haven't. They haven't. Maybe they have. Maybe they're just blocking it off or something or explaining it away. I'm pretty sure they haven't heard that horrible crying. You wonder how many of this is possible. Well, you did hear the crying and the creepiness. Could any of this be real? Do you believe me now? Maybe I don't know yet. I don't blame you, it's a lot to take in. I've been living with this for a while now. I'm losing weight. The counselor at school thinks it's because of the move and the changes in my life. But I know why it is. You know, this could still be all in her head. Because she really wasn't in the room before. So it could really be she was trying to punk him and went downstairs and stuff. So, hey, who knows, right? It's hard for me to concentrate in class. I keep thinking about her, of the madness that drove her to kill her own daughter and take her own life. And I get scared. What if I go mad like that? Maybe that's what she wants. Did you try telling the counselor the truth about this? I did. How do you think it went? He started talking about putting me on medication. Oh man, don't do that to kids, bro. I don't want that. I don't want to be one of those kids, you know? A walking zombie hopped on prescription drugs. Is it like Vicodin is what it was called? Like, it just numbs all your senses. Oh god. Clean my eyes first. It just numbs all your senses and just make you dull and stuff. So after that, I went with his story. Yeah, it was the change. Paulo, Maya, Mrs. Old School and her friends. Yada yada yada. Look, just leave, okay? Leave this house and go. I'm stuck and I have no choice, but you do. I won't leave you alone. I won't leave you alone. I'll wait for your parents. That's nice of you. But it's dangerous. I can't ask you to do that. What if something happens? Hang on a second, guys. I'm hearing stuff in my house now. It's like 1 a.m. in the morning. Oh, it's 12:30 a.m. in the morning. I'm starting to hear stuff. This game. Woo! Can I save? Can I do this part? Oh, don't. Okay, I can save. I'm actually gonna leave it here because the game is like 40 minutes in already. So I'm gonna make a part 2. So this is the Babysitter part 1. I'm gonna make a part 2. If you guys want to check this game out, I've left the link down below. But so far it's a good game, man. I came in here thinking it would be like a short, sweet jump scare fest. Even though it's a visual novel, a lot of boring text and stuff. But this the storytelling in, I don't know, like, was it Crux Studio or something like that? These guys know how to tell a story. So far, I'm completely hooked. I want to know what happened. Maya could just be a serial killer. You know, there may be no ghost and she's just playing pranks and trying to scare me because she's just telling me to go. It's very weird, don't you feel that? If like she is home alone with a crazy lady, I would still want someone in the room. I'll just be like, can you just stay in this room? Well, you shouldn't lock the door. It would be very creepy there, but yeah, you know. Anyway, I just have to keep playing. I'll play part 2 and I'll post it in a couple of days or maybe in a week. Just so you can linger on. Or maybe I'll post it tomorrow. Who knows, right? Either way, if you like the video, please smash the like button. If you dislike it, tick the dislike button. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing. I do or make horror video games. I'll play horror video games so that you don't have to and you can laugh at my mistakes and, you know, the jump scares. But otherwise, you guys should keep smiling and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!